Make Comrade Show with Comrade Lante Oriake. This is the Comrade Show.
Yes. Viewers of the Comrade Show around the world, wherever you are watching us this first Sunday of the month of February, you are welcome to your darling program on the Comrade Show. This segment we call the Comrade and Friends. First, let me apologize profusely for us starting 15 minutes behind schedule. We've been having some technical issues as far as technology is concerned. You are all welcome to today's show. And like I've said, today is the 5th of February 2023. And here we are. The days are upon us. So, our topic for today is Nigeria decides 20 days to the elections. How prepared are you? Nigerians, how ready are you for a new Nigeria that we all know indeed is possible? Please, you know the drill. Share this broadcast. Share, both on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, all our social media platforms. Don't watch alone. I have a full complement of the musketeers in the house, and they are here with me to dissect and look at all the issues as far as this 2023 election is concerned. So, viewers, I welcome all of you. So, without much ado, I just want to go straight to the business of the day. And I want to ask my brother, obedient pharmacist Austin Iremira. My brother, 20 days to the election. How you dey see am?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Tony Agbons. Like you said in the intro, this much talked about 2023 election is already upon us. And if you do a mathematical calculation, 20 days is just a few days shy of 3 weeks. So we were counting months before. Now we are down to weeks. We'll soon be down to days. And by the grace of God, we're down to hours. And from hours to the seconds, and the moment will come. I think it is important, this epic. We've mentioned this countless number of times, that this election will indeed decide where Nigeria would go. And if you ask me, I would tell you very clearly that Nigerians have actually decided, and we know it's only one way. Somebody was talking to me in church today and said something that Obi phenomena have come to teach Nigerians and indeed the world something. That somebody Iteto that was not given any opportunity is now in the driving seat deciding affairs. And that whichever way the election goes, Nigeria will not remain the same. And I really think that indeed our democracy will get matured in 2023. I see a new Nigeria, and like you said, a new Nigeria that is indeed going to be very possible. I'm happy, I'm filled with joy, I'm enthused, I'm happy. And I know that February 25 will be a watershed moment, and a new Nigeria will be upon us.
February 25 will be a watershed moment. Obedient Comrade Oriaki, GCOO. 20 days. Elections are here. My brother, what have you got to say?
My bro, look, man. I think we've been on this road for quite a while. For most Nigerians, people cannot just wait for that day to come. However, there still would be a few T's to be crossed, and of course, a few I's to be dotted. Again, for many of us, our confidence, has not lost vitamin, to be very honest, because the sort of will be is visible to the blind, to be very honest. However, the antics of the establishment, we can see it just now, and it's a matter of a great concern to Nigerians. We can see it as being reflected in fear scarcity. We can see it as being reflected in the sabotage embracing the Naira exchange. We can see it in so many different guys, and Nigerians are just like wondering what exactly is playing out here. So while all of that, is at play, For many obedience, we are not taking our eyes off the ball. We are not taking our eyes, off the goalposts. And I think that while the saboteurs are trying to make life difficult for Nigerians, probably to pitch Nigerians against the government and CBN, they are. I think the fallout of the whole difficulty right now in bringing Nigerians is making Nigerians decide even more, to get their PVCs and contribute towards deciding how this election is going to go. And I think that Nigerians right now should be angry enough, particularly for those that have not collected their PVCs, to go and get their PVCs so that this nonsense taking place right now, necessitating this abject suffering that Nigerians are undergoing right now, people should just speak with their PVCs to ensure that we have a chance of changing this forever. And I will assure Nigerians that the darkest part of the night is just before daybreak. Hopefully, on the 25th of February, the day will break and this whole suffering will be forgotten.
Comrade, thank you very much for that opening remark. I like the way you said our confidence is not lacking vitamin. That is a new polyglottic word construction that you have just come up with. And you also said the antics of the establishment. And that is where I want to ask the pharmacist this question. The comrade have just said antics of the establishment, and he alluded to the the new Naira note, and then he mentioned the fuel scarcity. And I also want to add the third one, which is the frustration that a lot of people have had with collection of PVC. So making three. So I want you to make sense of all this a little bit more. And then, give us some positive note of how Nigerians can navigate these difficult times. Obedient Pharmacist Iramiran, over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, Dr. Tony Agbons. I really like the way Comrade Lamte anchored that, and he said something which is very important, known to us, but whatever he said, you always feel some sign of happiness. That just before success, the darkest moment is just the moment before daybreak. And I think that's what we are facing now. I just want to say something I read over on the WhatsApp page. And the guy was trying to say that there have been so many drama, one too many, every week, every day, every second it changes. Last week, DSS was after Emefiele, the CBN governor. This week, Emefiele is telling DSS to go after the bankers. Nobody knows what will happen again tomorrow, being the second day of the new week. But what I would say, somebody said to me again today in church this morning, that if things doesn't scatter or break, there will be nothing to fix. I just want to say, especially with the three things you said just now, which is the big issue confronting us now, the cashless policy and not having cash, fuel not in anywhere, PVC becoming a very big problem, generally Nigeria in difficulty. My appeal to Nigerians is, although what I'm going to say may sound a bit sarcastic, but it's the truth. We just have 20 days to that road, suffering from time immemorial. Let us not allow the suffering that we are going through now, just these 20 days, to derail our focus. In fact, it should make us even be more resolute to know that we have a chance now to change it. Before 2, 3, 4, 5 years, 6 years, we say it's still far, we don't have a chance. We have a chance now, and we mustn't miss this opportunity. They will throw everything at us. Whatever the government want to do, whether intentional or non-intentional, can be misinterpreted, especially in this political season. But like we always say, if there's anybody in Nigeria today that still hasn't made up his mind, there must be something wrong with that person. Because you either take side, either positive or negative. And I think Nigerians should not just say we are suffering and insult the government. We should take that insult to the ballot box. If you haven't collected your PVC, please make sure you go and collect it. If you have collected, be decisive on what you want to do. Carry your plastic chair or your foldable chair. Go to the polling unit, cast your vote, sit down quietly, your vote, and wait for it. They have seen that the only way to cause katakata, the only way to cause problem is to begin to bring all this, because they know that many Nigerians have resolved that this is what's going to happen. Let us not be carried away, because we don't even know where the president stands. Some people say he's supporting Obi, some people say it's against them. These politicians are very wise. This gimmick can be played in different ways. Let us keep our eyes on the ball. Our suffering is enough, but we have an opportunity now in 20 days' time. And I want to assure you, and indeed all our viewers, we never see anything. Oh. By tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, there will be another discussion. There will be new things. Only last week was El-Rufai midweek going from, he left his office as governor and went to 6 or 7 TV houses in 24 hours. If you look at that his video, it's only one shirt he was wearing, which means he was going from place to place, even up to BBC Hausa. Don't be surprised tomorrow if he's going to be the governor of Kano State or another big person. They're going to throw everything, including the kitchen sink, to make sure they derail us. But Nigerians, this is our moment. No matter what is thrown to us, let us remain focused. If you have not eaten for days, 20 days will not kill you. If you cannot get cash, no problem. Remain resolute. On that day, we shall take the gauntlet and give Nigeria a new lease of life and a new road. We've made up our mind. Our mind is made up. A new Nigeria indeed is possible. So no matter what happened to us, I want to appeal to Nigerians. Let us stay focused. In those days, as people still do it now, we do 20 days, 16 days dry fasting. Let us do the dry fasting and just manage it, because more will come, but we should remain resolute. We need to get our country right, and get indeed we must. No excuse for all these problems. Please, Nigerians, I cannot beg you enough. It's for the betterment of our future today, our future tomorrow, and for our generation yet unborn. And this is our moment. Nigeria has not been in any position more than we have now. But the good thing is, we now believe that our vote indeed will count. That is why they are throwing katakata, because they know the vote indeed we count.
Thank you very much for that passionate appeal, obedient pharmacist Remiran. So Nigerians, you have heard, and those of us who are hearing, we should also carry the message to our families, our friends, and all our contact and network. Where there is no pain, there is no gain. The country, the citizens of Nigeria, over 133 million, more than that even, have been suffering. There's a lot of hardship, especially in the last 8 years of this administration. There's nothing. We have seen 99. What is left of 100? So please, we appeal to us. Let us bear it. Let us use our tongue to count our teeth in this election. And let us vote for character, competence, capacity, mental, and physical fitness. We need to always add that one. And I come to you now, obedient Comrade Oriakhi. You heard the pharmacist talking. Now, this Naira note redesign, the fuel scarcity, who will help? Using our normal balance, who is he helping?
There is it is very easy to forget where we are coming from. Okay, and when the government of Nigeria through the CBN released information on this Naira notes have been issued, I sat down to look at the political landscape, look at the body language of Mr. President, and look at how Mr. President Buhari, has been his attitude towards elections is he took over, first term, even local elections, state election, and every other thing. I observe some level of consistency in Mr. President, and that consistency is that President Muhammadu Buhari has not at any time interfered with any elections in Nigeria. He's always allowed, things to take their natural course. Edo State election 2020 was a typical example. Everybody thought that the president was going to use his powers to influence that election.
Hmm.
But he allowed, now apart from just even allowing the election to, go the way it ought to go, as decided by the Edo State people, Mr. President even did well to protect the outcome of the election, to ensure that nobody will infiltrate the election. Now, some people argued at that time to say that, President Buhari loves Obaseki and all of that. But time and again, we are beginning to see that it's not a question of love. It's a consistent attitude of Mr. President. Now, and I think that President Muhammadu Buhari, having contested presidential elections a number of times in Nigeria before becoming president, already knows what financial muzzle by the establishment does when it comes to election like this. He's a victim of people using money to buy Nigerians over. He's experiencing and he knows the pain. And he knows too that Nigerians are not very satisfied with his own performance as president, in his own administration. And he now knows that if there's one legacy he can be remembered for as president, he must now protect the outcome of this election. And in protecting the outcome of this election, making this election free, fair, and reasonably credible, they must checkmate those that have the capacity and the propensity to utter what the outcome would be, to divert the will of the people. And the only way to do that is to give a very small window of ensuring that the money that people would hold, would have kept to influence Nigerians to buy their votes and every other thing, will not take place. More than that, aside from that, President Muhammadu Buhari witnessed the APC presidential primaries. And of course, he did see the PDP presidential primaries. He's got classified information of how money was used to buy the conscience of Nigerians, who determined, who and who becomes the candidate of their political parties. And that would have sent a very strong signal to the brain of the president. For instance, it became very popular with Nigeria to say that when you are a delegate, it's a sure way to becoming a multi-millionaire.
Yeah.
We understood that delegates were bought with multi-million naira. Some were returning from Abuja buying new cars because the candidates were desperate. Atiku was desperate, he did it with PDP. Bola Ahmed Tinubu was desperate, he did it with APC. So for that not to happen at the general elections, where they have weaponized hunger so much so that the average Nigerian, when he sees 10,000 naira, he can surrender everything for 10,000 naira. That will make everybody suffer for the next 4 years. So I think that Mr. President has sat down with the CBN government to say, okay, if we must now protect this process, we must start with changing this Naira note and give it a very small window for those that have stashed multi-billions in their whatever, not to have the chance of being able to do anything with those multi-billion. And apart from that, reasonably, CBN governor has come out when he attended his call on the floor of the Hallowed Chambers of the House of Reps. He did say that we are supposed to have not less than 4 to 5 trillion naira in circulation. As at early 2020, Nigeria had less than 2 trillion naira in circulation. The remaining, that's about 1.7 trillion was what is in circulation. The remaining, more than 2 trillion naira, where were those monies? They were stashed away by politicians, by people who can do that. Now, immediately they came up with this policy to say we are giving a small window for people to return their money to the banks. As we speak, Nigeria now have almost 4 million naira in circulation because all of those monies, many of them have come out from their hiding places and find their way to the bank. Trillion. You understand what I'm saying now? They find their way to the bank. And when you have such amount of money in circulation, optimally the way it's supposed to be, there will be less hunger in the land. There will be less difficulty in the land. You understand? Now, the issue right now, zeroing down to your question, is that while Peter Obi has consistently been engaging with INEC to extend the window of PVC collection to allow more Nigerians to participate in the elections, what we saw or what we have been seeing with APC and PDP is that they have been knocking their heads and, expressing their dissatisfaction, trying to pressure the president and CBN to ensure that they put aside this policy to allow the old Naira notes to be in circulation. So the issue of this policy is for the good of the Nigerian people. You understand? The National Assembly embarrassed this nation. They met at the level of the Senate and discussed and agreed that the policy should be extended till June 31st. You and I know that June 31st does not exist in any calendar. It has never been. But these 20-something heads that Nigerians selected as people that we feel they are better than us, the rest of us, to make laws on our behalf, you understand what I'm saying now? They went there and embarrassed all of us like all of us are dummies. And the Senate president, holding his gavel, hit the gavel to say that, the Senate has approved that this thing should be extended to June 31st. That's embarrassing. That to tell you how fixated they are, more interested in what the money available to them than the PVC available to Nigerians. They never gave any strong mandate about PVC collection, but they are, and we are still seeing that more people with Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu are coming out to berate the president, to say all sort of things. But Nigerians must understand, and I think against that, the reason why this policy, what they not did, the establishment, was to not go to the banks because they have the highest shareholders with the bank, they have the highest monies in the bank, to not go to the local banks and tell the bank management not to release funds to Nigerians so that they can put pressure on Nigerians to revolt against government and CBN. So the banks are no longer taking holistically instruction from the CBN because they are being controlled by the establishment. And who are the establishment? They are the people of interest supporting Bola Ahmed Tinubu and supporting Atiku Abubakar. Those are the interests. So they are the real problems of Nigeria today. And so instead of Nigerians to revolt against Buhari and CBN, they started revolting against the individual banks, which is the right way to go. So I want to end my own discourse on this just now by towing the line of comrade from my sister Irebira to say, Nigerians, let's be wise. Let this hardship spur us to get our PVCs, to flush out this menace, to ensure that at least we have, the power, and we are dispensing that power to give birth to a new Nigeria. Just to round up, sir, I know I've taken some time. Somebody called me over this crisis from Nigeria day before yesterday. I was scared, expressing skepticism. So say, even if Peter Obi become president of Nigeria today, the problems are just too much. And I told him, and this is the truth, I said, as we speak, even if I'm not told, I have no intelligence about this, I do know that many Nigerians occupying positions or different positions of authority today, siphoning Nigerians' resources and every other thing, they have already packed their bags. They are waiting. As soon as Obi is announced president-elect, many of them will travel and go into exile, never to return. And they will free up that space for legitimacy to return, which means that Obi's announcement as president-elect of Nigeria will immediately solve half of this problem we are experiencing right now. And some others that may not travel will start putting their books in order. The monies that they have stolen before, many of them will bring those monies back to ensure that their books are correct. Because at the end of the day, the sledgehammer against corruption will come to everyone's table, and they will all receive the reward of what they have done to this country, Nigeria, this beautiful country, Nigeria. My brother, let us keep our eye on the ball. A new Nigeria is still possible.
Thank you very much. The GCOO obedient himself, Comrade Oriakhi, for that. And Nigeria, the truth of the matter is that, and just to re-echo what we have said before, let us please navigate these difficult times. I want to quickly announce our phone lines is now opened. We are going to display it very shortly. Please, you can pick your phone We are looking at Nigeria decides 2023 election is just 20 days away. So you can see our number right there on the screen. Pick your phone lines anywhere you are in the world. We will take your calls, either a question or a contribution. This is why this program is here. It is because of you we are here. It's an interactive program. So now I come to you, obedient pharmacist Iremira. The comrade has said so many things. And one thing he said that struck me is that why is it that the APC, like you said, pharmacist, Governor Nasir El-Rufai, he was all over the place this week, talking so many things. I cannot even repeat some of them here. But here you have Peter Obi and the Labour Party, they are talking about how people will get their PVC. But in their own case, these people are talking about the old Naira, we have to keep using it until June. They even had a meeting with the president. And the president have told the APC governors that met with him 2 days ago on Friday in Abuja that they should give him 7 days. So, pharmacists, I want you to, please take the mic and expound on all these shenanigans. What do you think from your analytic mind? What is playing out here?
Dr. Tony Agbons, thank you so much. Like we say in the common palace, now where they pain person, now they put for near fire. You can understand where the pain lies now. Dr. Tony Agbons, there are 18 presidential candidates vying to be president in Nigeria. 18 of them. Only one is complaining of this whole issue. That shows that where they pain that person, they put for fire. And like Comrade Bonsa said, you saw what happened at the presidential delegate election of APC. This is what they are planning to mimic in Nigeria. And this cashless policy being introduced by CBN is a slight puncture to that plan. So they have every right to complain, to make all sorts of stories, because where they paint them, they need to put near fire. That indeed has been punctured. And I think they never saw it coming. So the expectation or what they were planning is the direct opposite of what you are seeing now. That is why you see that all of them, all the progressive governors, came out last week to talk, and the conclusion was to run to presidency to see what they can do to cause problem. I think Nigerians now we should begin to pray and do whatever we want to do, so that President Buhari will not fall into the plan of what will happen 7 days. And Dr. Tony Agbons, I just want to say that there's a joker here. My mind is telling me something. For those Nigerians that still want to collect money, I think maybe just after the election, a few days before the election, federal government is going to come with another thing. You will share the money first and collect it from APC. You will have no bank to put it. So both that APC presidential candidate and the collectors or would-be collectors will somewhat be shocked, because they may not have the opportunity to use that money. I also want to tell you another thing, Dr. Tony Agbons. Apart from the presidential candidate of APC who has been shouting, a new one has joined them. And you want me to say it here? I was surprised. The governor of Rivers State was also lamenting, because part of the whole policy of Rivers is also to do like the way APC is doing. So you can see that those people that rely heavily on money to achieve their goal, they are the ones that are even in trouble. Atiku is also in trouble, but he's trying to use the opportunity to stay on the other side. But our eyes, indeed, is now wide. We can see it. And I just hope that President Buhari, I hope that the cabals in presidency will stand their ground. The reason is, like Bishop Asankuka would always say, if you are driving a Toyota and you need a mechanic, you cannot go to a mechanic that works on Volkswagen. It is Nigerians, Dr. Tony Agbons and Comrade Lamte, that must change our course. It's not an American. It's not a British or a European. It must be Nigerian. And Nigerians are the only people that we will use. So in this case, we want Kaaba. There is no country in the world where you don't have Kaaba. What is important is what is the purpose of that Kaaba? At this moment, just now, those Kaaba, although they are not doing our bidding, but they seem to favor what we want in Nigeria, which is a change. So for those of us that know how to pray, whatever you know how to do, we should insist and allow that to happen. As they are quarreling among ourselves, they are exposing themselves. It is the betterment of all of us. People that play money politics are the people crying at the moment. In fact, why should Dr. Tony Agbons, let's be frank, why should change of cash be a problem in any country anyway? Why? Why should it be a problem? Why? Even if the government gives only 1 week, what's the big deal? What is really the big deal? If I have millions, I go to the bank and change it easily. If I don't have ulterior motive, why should you be worried? Like Buhari said when he was talking in Daura, you have 3 months to do the change. It is because the money that they have, they cannot bring it out to go to the bank to change it. And let us forget about them now. Nigerians, are we not going to wake up? Why do we allow ourselves to be done this way? We now know the truth. Collect their money, burn it, and do what you are supposed to do. Why? Why are we a ready tool? Somebody was talking to me today. Is it that Nigerians don't really want to do the right thing? Why are we still having crowd in APC and PDP rally, even if they are paid? Why? Because they weaponize poverty and corruption in our society. And I think President Buhari indeed wants to leave a legacy. Listen, by the time this man leaves office, he's going to tell us what he's seeing. We have every right to criticize, to blame him. But Dr. Tony Agbons, we don't know what he's seeing now. You may have good policies, you may have good plans, but when you see the hawks and the scavengers around government, you will realize this man indeed has seen the light. It's too late in the day. The only weapon he has is to bring this cashless policy and this change of currency so that indeed that can be one avenue to truncate and to checkmate this whole stuff. I am not going to talk personal, but Dr. Tony Agbons, you said something just now, mental capacity. I think it was a recent rally where I saw Tinubu climbing the staircase and one man was carrying him. Who do us? Why are the children, grandchildren, friends, relatives, colleagues, contemporaries of Tinubu allowing him to do this? They really don't love him. We Nigerians love him. And I say, the best thing for him to do is to say, I've done my best. I want to step down at this moment. It's not too late. If not, the CBN cashless wahala will be that stopping block. Because man, we see fire, we not run. Fire go meet them and they go burn them.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much, obedient pharmacist Austin Iremina. You've said a lot, firing on all cylinders there, just like the way obedient comrade Oriakhi has spoken. And I think for me, I agree with both of you, what you have said. And the major point that the two of you have raised is the cabal, the hawks that are pressing down the necks of Nigerians because of the contacts they have in banks. They are now making it difficult for the ordinary people like you and I, for Nigerians to get this money out of the banks because of the connections they have with the banks. So it is not left for the bankers to come out and talk to Nigerians what exactly is going on. Because from a lot of the survey and the information we are getting, ordinary people cannot even take out money. Yes, we got a call coming in now.
Hello. Hello.
Good evening, my comrade show.
Yeah, good evening, sir. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Evans Adbekan. I'm calling from Germany.
Go ahead, sir.
I want want to add to what you are saying, sir. I really do appreciate this show. It's helping us very well. What I want to say, all hands should be on deck in this situation.
Yes.
Why did I say it? I'm watching some presidential candidate like Oshowore. They know they don't have this population. They know that. But the pride is really killing us. Why? They don't want to come into the situation to help so that they will come together to help Peter Obi. We have 3 candidates. These 3 candidates is Peter Obi, APC, and PDP. If Oshowore and the rest of the candidates we come together so that they can take these people away from the power, it will be the best thing for Nigeria right now. If we could not take this power away from these people, it will be difficult for any young man to come into power later. Why? Because when they leave the office, they will be bringing their families to this office.
Yeah.
I have written Mr. Oshowore several times in WhatsApp, in Facebook. He seems to not understand anything we're saying. We need all hands on deck to stand behind Peter Obi so that these people can leave the office. If the whole rest of the candidates, the 16 candidates, the rest of them, apart from APC and PDP, the rest of them can stay behind Peter Obi, it would be the best for Nigeria right now. Because, yes, God is supporting us. God is supporting the obedience. The youth are waking up. It's a very best thing for everybody right now. But we still need these people to tell their people to join this race so that Peter Obi can emerge as the next president. By God's grace, he's already the next president of Nigeria.
Yes.
But still, we don't want to leave any hands unturned.
Yeah.
All hands should be on deck by His grace. God is going to see us through. That's what I want to add, sir.
Thank you very much. That's a very
Thank you
good
very
point.
much, our brother Agbekan, all the way from Germany. Thank you so much. So, for me, I think the bankers have a huge role to play. They should come out and tell us exactly what is going on, because we don't want a situation where we saw a lot of ATM machines being smashed, a lot of fighting going on inside banking hall. Bank staff are even getting scared. Because if you are a staff in the bank, you work according to instructions from senior managers and what the bank is doing. We saw people even stripping, going naked, on top of bank counters and in bank queues. So it's really, really getting nasty. So, but a good thing also is that the CBN have also come out to say that they have put out a lot of money out there, but they are also sabotaged in the system. So this is where I come to you now, Pharmacist Remiran. I want to put this issue to rest so that we can talk about the second aspect of what we have today. In all this, what do you think the CBN, as the ones actually in charge of this monetary policy, what do you think, very briefly, that the CBN should be doing now?
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Tony Agbons. In fact, the question you asked me, you've already answered it. One of our problem in Nigeria is sabotage. And because they've done I don't know who did this to us. We don't always have a proper analysis of things. Like you said just now, you go to the banking hall, there was this issue where people were fighting. You need to ask yourself certain questions. And when we begin to learn to analyze and ask ourselves certain questions, we may just find the answers. The bank is not the banking hall of Nigerians fighting is not the solution, because those bankers are taking instruction from those politicians that are strong power brokers. I think CBN never saw this coming. Maybe they thought it wasn't going to be possible. I think they have lots of money out, Dr. Tony Agbons. I'm sure the CBN has put lots of money in there. In my view, I also think that the bank managers in the different states are now being hoodwinked by the chief executive of the governors of this bank in the state. So they are between 6 and 7. The money is there. These big boys have asked for the money. They want it. They've been promised they will give it to them. But they are also scared because CBN is beaming a searchlight looking at what they are doing. So the money is kept there. They cannot turn. They cannot twist. So I think CBN should still continue on that monitoring process. Last week, they started going from place to place informing people and even giving them money. CBN should continue in that. They said they've given the money out already. They should just let that monetary process continue and let people be punished. If one bank manager is caught, arrested, and everybody see it in clear daylight that is being dealt with, they are taking him to court immediately. Every other person will wake up, because Nigerians, they only learn when they see action. They really only learn when they see action. Like I said last week, Emefiele was being hunted by DSS. This week, Emefiele has got his mojo back. He's now the one controlling DSS to do the right thing. So they should really give us a scapegoat. Nigerians like scapegoats. When they see a scapegoat, everybody would align. And CBN should spend as much money as possible to begin to disseminate information to Nigerians in different languages, explaining to them everything, and also letting them know that if you cannot change the money before the end of the day, you are still allowed to bring those money back to the banking hall. We will take it. And remember, those money are going to come. They won't come with anything more than 500,000. And they can explain to CBN why they haven't come, and CBN will change their money. But these big politicians are catching on that opportunity to cause mayhem. CBN need to do more information, more enlightenment, more propagation, but they should not relent. This policy of theirs to change money has come to stay. Stay it must, but they must show example by disciplining one of the bank heads. And Nigeria, through their scapegoat, will take it. Because Dr. Tony Agbon, it's only 20 days now. I don't know what the president is going to come up with in the next 7 days. I hope it doesn't kowtow and fall to the high-handedness of these APC governors that are pushing them. But CBN should do more adverts, scapegoat anybody that is culpable, and continue the monitoring process.
Thank you very much, Obedient Pharmacist Remira. You are calling for decisive action, a language which we often hear from Mr. Peter Obi. He always talk about it to be dealt with decisively. Okay? And that is exactly what you have said. Because what makes other societies grow and have discipline is because when people do the wrong thing, they are punished, and they are not just punished for it. It is seen. Everybody will see that this person have been dealt with. In the UK here, just this last week, the chairman of the ruling party, the Conservative Party in the UK, he has been removed from office because of certain issues bordering on tax, and tax payment and all that. So that is a society for you. Even the UK Prime Minister, he wasn't using his seatbelt, he was caught on camera, he got a penalty notice. I'm sure he would have paid his fine by now. That is how a society moves forward. But in Nigeria, the law, unfortunately, seems to be for the people at the lower rung of the ladder. Big men, they do things, they just make a phone call, and then they get off the hook. Comrade Oriakhi, I don't know your final word, very briefly, on this pre-election matter, which unfortunately we're supposed to be talking about election now. We're talking about Naira note and fuel scarcity and cabal and sabotage. Finally, very brief, 1 minute. On mute, sir.
Thank you so much, Obedient Comrade Agbons. I'll say that we are not wasting our time, because when we look at our recent history, our policies have always been determined along these kind of patterns, where a few persons would determine what happens to the vast majority of the people. It's always been the case. And so it's power is not freely given. And that's what we're experiencing right now. The establishment, they know what is coming. They've heard, what's it called? The seat of government hostage for far too long. And so they will do everything, to ensure that they remain there. So it's actually right now a battle, for the soul of Nigeria. And we know where each person stands. There are those who are part of the establishment that are standing with, the Bola Tinubus, the Atiku Abubakars, and all of those kind of people. Bola Tinubu Abubakar APC, PDP, SPC, PDP, they are all one and the same. Because when you look at all of them, each of their chieftains, they've either been here or there and here. They've always been together, you understand? So there is no story. What is the most appalling, what I find most disgusting today is APC campaigning to Nigerians, telling Nigerians how they will rescue Nigeria from APC. That is the most appalling aspect of it, because the same APC that gathered 4 years ago, 8 years ago, or nearly so, to tell Nigerians that a dollar will become 1 naira, to tell Nigerians that, bursary, scholarship will be given to Nigerians, and 4 years with 4 years. The same people are the ones who are telling us right now that preaching the same message right now after 8 years or nearly so. So that's aside. I think beyond this problem of this currency, fear crisis, attempt to try to, sabotage the PVC collection process and every other thing, or even there are some people in Lagos right now, they are being threatened by hoodlums. So I think there are more problems more than even these. And I would say right here on air that there is no reason right now, in line with the perceived desire of Mr. President, there is no reason right now why the security apparatus of the Nigerian state should not be, and not they've started it, be mopping up all the guns that they have given to hoodlums that they are planning for these elections. They've started arresting people, collecting arms and ammunition from them and every other thing. I think they should do more. But, sir, let me shock you with another thing that is a matter of concern that I want to talk about. And I want to explain that by playing this particular video that I've queued here. Let's take a listen to this. I hope we can hear.
If you are not a Nigerian and you are in possession of permanent voter's card, you committed an offense. You have to be arrested and be eased out. We have done that in the past. And those of them that are here, that are practically here, they are being profiled. And when they are profiled, we are going to find out whether some of them are still in possession of PVCs because they are from a different zone. The last zone was Kaduna zone. We retrieved more than 1,000 PVCs. Now, as they are being profiled, officers are still checking to find out if they are in possession of these cards. Not only PVC, some of them are even in possession of local government indigent forms, which we are going to retrieve.
Okay, not to burn Nigerians too much. For those who may just have watched this particular, video I played just now, that is Nigerian Customs Service. They've arrested a number of people who are non-Nigerians. If you watch that video, to the end, some of them, majority of them are from Niger Republic, from Chad Republic, from Senegal, different African countries. In this particular case, about 1,000 Nigerians were apprehended in the northern part of Nigeria, and 516 of them had PVCs ready to vote in this election. Now, the question is, which candidate are they voting for? Who organized that arrangement to make foreigners have Nigerian PVCs to interfere with the outcome of the elections? Now, what you are seeing is what the establishment does, what they have always done. That as we speak right now, it is increasingly likely that we have a huge number of non-Nigerians in Nigeria, particularly in the northern part of Nigeria, that are having Nigerian PVCs, and they are here to vote for a certain candidate, definitely not Peter Obi, but one or both of the other candidates, talking of Atiku Abubakar and what's his name, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Now, that's a huge danger, because at the end of the day, our vote, would have been compromised, not likely to reflect the true desire of Nigerians.
Mm.
I dare say, therefore, that while the security apparatus of state, they are doing their own to crack down on these marauders, on these human beings brought into Nigeria to compromise our elections, Nigerians in the south who have not brought in foreigners to come and collect PVCs in Nigeria or come and have PVCs in Nigeria. We have no reason in this whole wide world why we must not collect our PVCs and participate in our elections. If we don't do it, we are giving these people power to change this course. But let's assume that 90% of Nigerians are eligible for PVC in the east, in the south, in the west, in the central part of Nigeria. 90% of people collect their PVCs, and at least another 90% of those collected, they come out to vote. All these human beings in their thousands will not be able to influence the outcome of the elections.
Mm.
If we truly want, to give birth to a new Nigeria, we have an obligation, a moral responsibility to do everything humanly possible to get our PVCs. We must give kudos to Labour Party and Peter Obi, because if not before then, PVC collection would have ended since November last year.
Yeah.
The window is still being extended because of the pressure only Peter Obi and Labour Party is putting on INEC. And of course, some civil society organizations who love that the course of history of Nigeria should change. They are the ones that are there to provide this window. Let us take advantage of this window while it is still there. We have just 20 days to elections. This election, is for us to lose. It's for the obedience to lose. It's for those advocates of a new Nigeria to lose. And the only way we'll lose this election is if we do not collect our PVCs, or if we collect our PVCs, we do not vote. These are two ways that we are going to lose this election. But if these two work together...
Comrade, I want to interject. The collection of PVC ends today, February 5th. Because as far as I know, there has not been any other extension. It ends today. So I want you to put that in context.
I think I'm speaking based on the information we have that the Labour Party and the civil society groups are still pushing for extension till around on the 20th.
Okay, because what we have noticed with the PVC collection, sorry sir, I'm interjecting you, is that in the southern part, especially in the southern part of Nigeria, there have been a lot of frustration with PVC collection. Exactly. Even more than, just like some people are complaining about Naira notes now, they didn't say anything. But in the north and some other places, people were collecting PVC, they just walk in, they walk out. But in the south, we all saw the videos. And even in Lagos, it was even alleged, we cannot independently verify, that if your name is not bearing the local name, if you are Chukudi or you are Terry Brooks and all that, they know you are from another part of the country, they will say your PVC is not available. So I want you to talk to this.
Yeah, but Dr. Tony Agbon, sorry just to interrupt. There lie our problem. We've said it many times. We're not having all these problems in the north. Why are we having it in the south? There are not northerners working in the south. There are southerners working in the south. Why are we sabotaging ourselves? The last time I checked, the head of INEC in Lagos State is one Agbaje, a proper Yoruba man. Why are southerners always available as veritable tools to sabotage their own?
Well, I'm not going to speak in line with these, regional antics taking place across the nation. I don't want to speak to that. Even though I'm aware of all of these, the only confidence I have right now is just like what happened in 2020 with Governor Obaseki's election. People were giving money. People were, a lot of people were bought over. But at the end of the day, they collected the money and still waited for Governor Obaseki. So even in the north, for those that have been compromised, I'm very confident that many of them are still going to come out on that day to vote for Peter Gregory Obi, because the son that beats Nigerians in the south equally beat them in the north, and they are so tired of the situation. So at the end of the day, in the north where they've done all of it as they have always done, for the first time, the northerners for the first time, we can see a huge number of northerners, Hausas and Fulanis coming out to say we are no longer interested in these religious cards. We are no longer interested in these tribal cards. We will vote Peter Obi because in Peter Obi's message, we see a truer Nigeria. And if in case you don't know, all of those convincing messages of Peter Obi, they have now been translated into Hausas. They are not being played in even what's it called, Hausa PBC and Hausa channels. And so even the people in the rural areas are beginning to get a clearer message from. So at the end of the day, and INEC has said that they are going to do it in such a way that nobody can tell who each person is going to vote for. You understand what I'm saying? It's going to be between the individual. Whether you collect money yesterday, you don't collect money yesterday, but your ballot paper is going to be between you and you. And so whoever you vote for cannot be traced back to you saying this thing. So I'm pretty confident that Obi is going to do well, even among those brought over by Atiku Abubakar and by what's his name, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I just want that those of us in the South, we will increase the number of PVCs we have collected. The last time we spoke about this, about around early December, only about 60-something% had collected PVC in Edo and Delta states. But from information we are getting right now, that has increased tremendously. And more people out of frustration are still going out to go and collect their PVCs. As a matter of fact, what is happening in Edo State today, if you wear a PDP face cap or Atiku face cap or a Bola Tinubu face cap or something that belong to these people, bus drivers not they carry you again. Some market women will not even sell for you. The awareness is that high. And I think that should be the awareness all across the nation. If you are in what's it called, or your state, that's another pluralized area that is going to go Obi's way. In some of those places, in Lagos, there are certain people that knowing what we are going through right now, and they come for you for service, they should not get it. Because if they don't know where they pay them, me, I know where they pay me. I don't live in Nigeria. To be very honest, I can decide to say, man, to hell with Nigeria. I can decide to say, man, I don't want to be in Nigeria anymore for the rest of my life. But the Benin masses of Nigeria's economy does not directly impact me per se, but it does. And I live where I live. As I want to grow to a certain stage and retire and come home if I cannot come home immediately. But if home is good now, I probably want to transfer everything I've got back home and start living a good life at home.
Yeah.
So these are the reasons why we cry. These are the pains that we have. That we are committed to ensuring that this process, everybody must see the way some of us are seeing it. Because at the end of the day, it is for the general good of everybody.
Thank you very much. For the general good of everybody, we are winding down the program now. I promised myself today that we'll be hitting the 1 hour mark. Our viewers, if you still want to make contribution, you want to call in, there's a lot of engagement. I'm sure the comrade will be putting some across for us to see. This is from our deputy ancestor, all the way from Italiano, Uncle Harry Bakare. So if not for backwardness, every eligible citizen should automatically have PVC. I can even be collected a few hours before voting, which is very true, sir. Very, very true. I agree with you. But hopefully, our democracy will get there. Another one from Andrew Ekibise. That is the level of corruption they have been. How they get the PVC, someone issues to them. So, and we saw this video of that woman that was collecting money in Enugu State before she issues.
Yes.
And I'm happy to announce that INEC, and this is the beauty of technology, that video went viral and INEC have taken up that issue, and that case is being dealt with as we speak. So, on a final note, I'm going to come to the two of you gentlemen. 20 days to this election, because by the time we come back next week, by the grace of God, it will just be 13 days. Probably we have only one more program on this segment, and then the election will come. And we are going to be telling our viewers what we have in the next 2 Sundays before the election. We are going to be coming to that. So, Comrade Obedient Iremira, what is your message to Nigerians as we count down to this election? Very briefly, sir.
Nigerians, viewers of the Comrade Show, friends of the Comrade Show, and especially Nigerians at home. This is our moment. We waited for nearly 22 years. I am a Catholic, and at one time I got so disgusted because we were always saying this prayer for Nigeria in distress. But really, I think God has answered our prayers. In many years, we can see the opportunity staring right in front of our eyes. And if we don't take it, this will lead us to another 10 years. It is very clear. INEC and this new BVAS system and the PVC is going to revolutionize Nigeria. Let us take that moment. We have the choice. If we fail now, we have to wait again for another fuel scarcity. Students being at home for months. New Naira redesign. Can we afford another 8 years? If the answer is no, and you know no is no, please take up your PVC. No football on that day. Go and do the right thing for your sake, for the sake of your children and your children yet unborn. Our moment is now. Let February 25 go down in history as one of the best days in Nigeria. With Peter Obi and Dati Baba Yusuf, a new Nigeria is possible. No excuse, my people. No excuse, fellow Nigerians. Let your PVC be the key to unlock Nigeria to the fourth industrial revolution.
Powerful message there. Obedient comrade Iremira. Comrade Oriaki GCOO. What have you got to tell our people?
Well, my own summary is that we are not counting days, and it's unfortunate that some artificially induced hardship is confronting the land right now with the fierce scarcity, and of course with the Naira, non-availability of the Naira, orchestrated by various banks across the nation. I just want to say that we should not despair. Let's try to weather the storm, because at the end of the day, like I said earlier, the darkest part of the night is just before daybreak. And the 25th of February is around the corner, the election day. And so everything is going to be thrown at us to make us succumb. But as Nigerians, we are resilient. We've always been. We cannot afford to break at this point. Some people are already promoting posters of Buhari must go. We don't need it now. Not on the account of this policy. This policy, I can tell you, is for the general good of all of us. This policy, when you hear politicians cry, it is because something is going to benefit the Nigerian people. Now that politicians are crying, including Wike, they are all in the same boat. They don't care about you. They don't care about us. They care about themselves. Even when they fight, you see them fight. Okay, it's for their own personal interest. For once, we have our own interests. And I can tell you that the only candidate right now that is asking Nigerians to support him with everything in cash and in kind is Peter Gregory Obi. Nobody is doing that. And I'm going to play this video for you guys to see.
I'm Mr. Peter Obi, Labour Party presidential candidate. I need your support, moral, material, financial, whichever way you can. Most importantly, I need your vote. Vote LP for a new Nigeria.
So that's Peter Gregory Obi asking for our support, asking for our vote, and asking for our resources, our finance, to finance this election. So that at the end of the day, even as we speak, I have my money in Peter Obi's campaign. My colleagues here, the comrades, they have their monies. So many Nigerians have donated monies to this campaign. At the end of the day, no one person can say, if not because of me, we all Nigerians can say, now all of us put them there. And we will have voice in his own government. All of us. But in the case of the money bags, they are not asking for your money. They are starting money away to give you. That shows you, if we allow them, okay, it means that the incoming administration of either of them will be worse than what we have ever seen. Because all of these monies that they want to spend, they spent some when they were doing their primaries. They put the records aside. They will collect it when they take over. The only leading candidate who did not spend a dime to get his candidacy is Peter Gregory Obi. He's not owing anybody. If Obi does not win this election, now all of us now lose. Now Nigeria now lose. Obi is already an established businessman. He will go to his private life and do his things. But we suffer the hardship that we brought upon ourselves. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. Let's use the last drop of our blood to do everything we possibly can to ensure that we vote. We protect our votes. So at the end of the day, we go through this pain to celebrate later. God bless you all, Nigerians.
Thank you very much. Always a pleasure to listen to you gentlemen, obedient comrade Lamte Ponsa Oriahi and obedient comrade Austin Agboje Remiran. Great guys. I am really, and I know our viewers are really happy hearing you all. For me, I was writing a piece some few days ago, and I just want to, take some as my own parting shot from today's program. And my message to Nigerians is this: if, as Nigerians, we vote in the wrong candidate again in these 2023 elections, then we will have no right to complain in 2024, 2025, 2027, or 2031. Let us vote wisely in this 2023 election. We must ensure that we vote for competence, character, capacity, mental fitness, and physical fitness in this election. We are not going to vote for somebody because he's from where we come from, because he's the same religion with us. We are voting for the right candidate. And from all indications, and since the campaign began, we can only see that the only candidate that is addressing the issues facing Nigerians is the Obi Dati ticket. So Nigerians, let us be part of history. Let it be that we are the generation that finally change the dynamics of our great country. It's been a long time since I was a little boy. All we hear is that Nigeria is a country that has potential. Potential. Giant of Africa. But our country has been sleeping and dreaming since independence. This is not about talking about a messiah coming to change things. Look at these three candidates. If you had a company, if you had an organization, and you look at these three candidates, Atiku Abubakar, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Peter Gregory Obi, who will you employ to be the CEO of that company? Who will you employ to be in charge, to run your multinational organization? If you find the answer to that question, then you find the answer to who indeed has the quality and has the capacity to be the next president of Nigeria. Nigerians, let us be wise. We will continue this narrative until February 25, 2023. Talk to your family members, especially those of us, friends of the obedient family, members of the obedient family who live in the diaspora. Pick your phone, talk to your family members at home, in the east, in the north, in the south, and in the west. Let us vote a candidate that have the compassion to take Nigeria forward. Enough of the suffering and the hardship in our land. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And on this note, and on behalf of the entire team of the Comrade Show, we want to announce that next week, Sunday, the 12th of February, we'll be having a special program. Comrade, correct me, I hope I'm right. I know we have one on the 12th, we have another one on the 19th. I'm kind of lost with calendar. Please, if you can take us through, I don't know which one is first now.
Oh yeah, we have one on the 12th, the one where we are going to be having a discussion with personalities from across different parts of Nigeria.
Yeah, thank you.
But I think the next important one we actually have is the one on election day, the election day live broadcast. where we want to take a panoramic view of what is happening across the nation on the election day. And we have asked that we want people who will serve as volunteers. All they need is their smartphone, and we do well to provide data so that they will connect with us to feed us with what is happening on the ground. And so we expect more Nigerians to connect with us. We are going to have a live section on the Zoom platform. We are going to bring so many prominent Nigerians in to discuss the outcome of the elections across different parts of the country. And so we are still calling for volunteers. A lot of people have indicated interest, and at the same time, we are calling for those who can make pledge. Hopefully, I did actually say that this week or hopefully next week, as the case may be, we will release all the information. Of course, we equally release account numbers for those who want to support. No matter how little it is, we need some resources to provide data for people. We need as many volunteers as possible. In the case of Edo State, we are over 200 volunteers. But this is Nigeria; it's a bigger space, so we need loads of volunteers from different states across the nation. We want to get, live reports, live feedback from what is happening on the ground, because we want to be able to provide that platform where Nigerians, mostly in the diaspora, can have a feel of what exactly is going on the ground. We did it for the Edo State election. We did it for Ondo State election, and it was hugely successful. We are doing it again. So we actually want that support, really. So, but that's going to be on election day. But hopefully, because of this week, all of the information will come out in JPEG and all of that, and we keep pushing the narrative.
Thank you very much, comrade. In fact, as you were speaking, I went to our Comrade Show archive, and I just want to announce that next Sunday, like comrade have said, we have a program which we have titled Across the Nation Nigeria. So we're going to have people from every part of Nigeria. And if you want to be part, I can see my brother here, Benjamin Woye from Anambra. He wants to be a volunteer. So we're going to be having people from every part of Nigeria. We're going to be looking at the election.
Mr. Benjamin, please, at the end of this program, just send us a message on WhatsApp. Our number is...
We can put our number out. Yeah, that's our number floating. So we have across the nation, we have Nigerians from every part of Nigeria taking part in this program so that we hear direct information on what is going on. Then on the 19th of February, we have the in-house, gathering as well, where we're going to have everybody. We're going to be part of this show. And then on Saturday, 25th of February, which is the election day, we're having a super coverage where we are going to cover the event as it happens. We've done it with the Edo State election. We've done it with Ondo State election. We followed the Anambra election very well as well. Another election, but this one is going to be a nationwide coverage, and this is where we are requesting volunteers. So our numbers have been displayed. Please send us a message, and we'll put you as part of the team. Thank you, Comrade Iremira. Final word as we close.
Thank you so much. Whilst you were talking, something just came to my mind. Earlier this week, El-Rufai accused Peter Obi of being a Nollywood actor. And Peter Obi had just responded, fellow Nollywood members, fellow Nigerians, please come to me and join me to act this film in Nollywood. Let us fight to finish. February 25, Bacons.
I love it.
Thank you so much. And as you were saying that, I just got a message here as well from our deputy living ancestor. Is the AKA Uncle Henry Bakare. He said he's giving us volunteers, people from this is some people from Udo in Ovia Southwest.
Lovely.
And he's also going to support financially to make sure that people are able to get data. Please, we are in the extra time. You know how football is. Extra time of this exercise and this whole program. So let us support the whole activity to make sure that come February 25 and by February 26, the Comrade Show of February 26 is going to be dance. and we will be celebrating by the special
Yeah.
grace of God,
Yeah.
inshallah. So on that note, friends and followers of the Comrade Show, please, you can share this program of today. A lot we have said and done. Share it and share it. So we'll see you by the grace of God, same time, same station next Sunday. God bless you all. And God bless
Thank
the
you so
Federal
very
Republic
much.
of Nigeria.
Amen. Bye for now.
I'm Mr. Peter Obi, Labour Party presidential candidate. I need your support, moral, material, financial, whichever way you can. Most importantly, I need your vote. Vote LP for a new Nigeria. I'm Mr. Peter Obi, Labour Party presidential candidate. I need your support, moral, material, financial, whichever way you can. Most importantly, I need your vote. Vote LP for a new Nigeria.
Are you a business owner? Do you make your own products? This is your best opportunity ever. Register your brand now with the first and largest marketplace promoting Nigerian-made products. Get access to over 17 million shoppers and customers currently in need of your products. Download on Google Play Store now to register or visit ekioja.com. Focus on creating your passion. Leave the marketing to us.
Comrade Show, wait. Comrade Lamte Oriakne. This is the Comrade Show.